Hi Pisces, happy eclipses. Okay guys, now you have a mixed bag in here. We're going to break it down. What I did with this reading was it's specifically for you, right? It's your internal stuff that you're dealing with, that these eclipses are going to touch on, that need to be cleared out, some things like that. Trauma, past hurts, past, whatever that's coming to the surface to clear way for new stuff, right? We're getting rid of stuff and we're pulling stuff in. I think that the theme, what I feel here is, I think you've maybe cut yourself off, like you're taking a hiatus from life in general, from relationships, from people. You've kind of like, I think you feel really, really depleted. And I think that what's happened is you may have picked up a few, let me lick my wounds with a few new pairs of shoes or a new briefcase or a new car, or I think you may have indulged in some ways to fill some hurt here, some past trauma, or I think there's defense around this reading too, and I think it goes back to either old heartbreaks, things that aren't going well, frustration, fear. I don't know if I want to trust someone. I don't know if I trust myself. I don't know if my decisions are well. I think that you have perhaps, and many Pisces do, a grand plan of how things should look, how things should be. I mean, we all do, right? But I think that if you are being asked to really release what it should look like and let it flow. Let it flow. Remember that you're divinely connected. Don't get so lost in the destination and how things need to be that you're missing all of the things in front of you. I think you come into the reading with your cards flew out. You've got the Six of Wands, right? It's a victory card. It's a communication card. It's kind of like the hero coming home, right? Like you're making headway here. It's headway. You've won the battle, but you didn't win the war yet, right? Now you've got the Three of Cups. Choices. Heaven on earth or hell on earth. The choices are yours. And the Emperor. You have the power to do that. You have the power to make your life what you want it to be, right? But you've got to work with people. It's got to be a give and a take, right? I think that you either get into situations where you don't say anything until your head pops off and you realize I've just blown through all of my boundaries like 50 years ago, right? And I'm not even in boundary territory here yet. So, but then you cast something onto someone else, but it's actually yourself that you're mad at. You've got the five, you've got reconciliation, but that's the Five of Coins with this. This is kind of how you're feeling, but it's temporary. But it's kind of like a, what do I say? It's kind of like you're disconnected. It's like you may have the window dressings around you in your life, but you feel you're very spiritually bankrupt, right? You're kind of disconnected there. That's the disjointed feeling, right? But the Emperor, I feel in here, is control. Like you're trying to control situations that are, I don't think it's working well for you. But you've got a reconciliation here. So maybe this was, something that, maybe was having some kind of power struggle in here. But I think that you go back and forth, or you have someone in your sphere or relationships or careers or things that you go back and forth with, right? We come in with, first and foremost, the energy of the Hermit, the Fool card, the Devil card, and the Ten of Swords, and the Five of Wands, right? And I'm going to pull here the Nine of Coins and the Tower card. These are all energy cards that are telling me you've kind of you've kind of overpowered someone, right? The Tower card is kind of like, I may have backed myself into a corner, right? It's the realization of, this is kind of my house, my castle has become my prison. I'm kind of cut myself off, right? And now I'm envious of everyone who's got something going on here. That's a crappy place to be. We've all been there though too, right? But you've got in here the Five of Wands, which is inner conflict, which always speaks of, you know, I should have probably paid more attention to that. Was that so practical, right? That's what we want to ask ourselves. Was this practical? Is this practical? Going forward from here, that you always want to know the why. Is this practical though, and why? You've got the Ten of Swords, which means you're pretty much feeling defeated here. You're done with this though. That's the good part. That once you take this little time back, which I would strongly suggest, you find your footing again. Because you've got the Devil card, which is, you know, you're out of balance here. And I feel it's a control kind of deal, right? Where we stronghold on to something that we think we have no control over. But you actually have more control over things when you just let them be. The flow of things, right? It's kind of like making the dam or opening the dam, right? One is gonna have more flow. That's just taking your power back, and that's in balance. It's rebalancing your life. The Fool card is take a leap of faith, right? Pull on the wisdom from the past, right? And trust enough in yourself to go forward practically, in a practical manner. So there you go. And what I think that this brings in money for you too, because the clarifier is some money, right? So it brings in some money for you. And you know what? Okay, here we go. All right, I want to show you this. These are very, very grounding cards. These are all energy cards that are coming in, so I'm pulling them. They're grounded energy. I have ideas. I've got my vitality. I know what my value is. I know the value of health, my health, because I think that your mind is taking over your body, and it's taking a toxic hit here. So the Lover's card, long-term practical choices, and there you find your foundation. The Queen of Wands, that's an energy of, I get it together later in life, right? It's a situation too where finances may be a real struggle until a certain point. And that's the point you're coming into. So once we realize these things, it's like it shakes the crazy out and our life is easier, right? It's easier. And that's where you're going. You've got the Magician and the High Priestess. It's inner truths. And that's where I'm going to drive it. It's inner truths. I really want this. These are my desires, and I'm going to go for it. I have the will to move mountains for it. You're just in a funk is all. And I think that you've been through things, and you're just trying to get your footing back in trust, right? That's a hard thing to get back. It's either in a person. It's more so in yourself. Have trust in yourself, because then you're going to pull in situations to you that are in alignment with that, right? But have some boundaries in place. I would strongly suggest that. Now, the conscious part of this reading that comes in for you, again, with all of that, your finances do improve. So that's one thing in here too. Okay. Now, what you're conscious of is the Knight of Wands. That's in and out, running all over the place. He's on to the next exciting thing, but never really completes anything. And the clarifier for that is loss of money. So I think that that's why I'm saying, I think that in this, all of this for you, it's been a lot of ups and downs, right? The Five of Swords, that's, I need some boundaries here. I need to set some better boundaries here. I need to start looking at what I'm doing and stop running around. You're conscious of this, so you're aware of it, okay? So that's a good thing. The things that are unconscious, right, are really hard because we don't see them. They're not on our periphery. Where I set this up was I want to know what you're aware of, what you're not aware of, where the foundation is here. These aren't little willy-nilly things. Like you may be having trouble in a relationship, or you may be having trouble financially, or you may be having trouble in a certain area of your life. But I went back to see where the foundation of this is so that we can backtrack it and rebuild it, right? Because that's important. We can fix certain things sometimes, putting a Band-Aid on something, but it's not going to stop the hemorrhage. We want to go back and fix this, and this is perfect opportunity with these eclipses to do this, okay? So with that said, your foundation here, which is like the 3D year, that's what I used. But it can go back a lot further. But I needed to go back 3 to 5. I asked 3 to 5 just so I know where your feet are. Okay? And you've got the 8 of Wands. This is like, it's really great constructed energy, but when it bounces around in an unconstructed way, it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of vitality. It's bad. I shouldn't say bad. It's not the best management of your time, your money, your energy, your vitality. It's not a when you get your ducks in a row and you find something that lights you on fire, you've got now the energy reserved to move mountains, you know. And I think that you do want to move, and you could move. It's just, I think that you may not have, you know, the financial reserve, but you will pull it together. It's movement. It's communication. It's I get it together, right? It's an 8. It's laser focused. So you're really going to have to focus on, I would strongly suggest upcoming for you, not multitasking. I'd streamline things. I'd really write things out. I'd see what's out of balance, and then I would start to tackle those things. But it all starts with trusting yourself, and you have to trust in yourself enough to know that you want to get these things together, because that in and of itself you'll need to move a mountain for that. But you will. The Emperor can absolutely do it. I think you've just been sucked dry by life, and you're just needing to get rid of some of these unhealthy patterns, right? Because with that 8 of Swords comes in with the Gambler's card, and you came in with the money card, right? So you get some money. So I think there's financial issues here too, right? The 2 of Swords is sometimes the gamble is, I don't want to look at this. I just don't want to see it. But it's also a card where with this, you keep giving someone a second chance, or you keep giving people second chances, you know? And we'll do that if we don't trust ourselves and we don't think that we're worth someone who's not bouncing around like this, right? Now, the energy coming through here, these cards flew out. You've got the Queen of Wands, Queen of Coins. You just need to reestablish some grounding in your life. Remember who you are, step by step. Establish the life that you want for yourself, and you will. Here's the door. These 2 cards in here for you, I feel, are about value, right? And you come full circle with this. So you do complete this. You do get this going, and you get a visitor, right? I think this is a relationship comes in for you, but I would take a minute. I think these eclipses, you're going to make some tough decisions, or you may come to some realizations with things here, right? I think if you're not the one bouncing around here in and out of relationships, you're letting people come in and out of your life that they're passing through town. You want someone that's going to drop anchor. And you come in as the Emperor. You could have a fire sign that you keep, you know, or just someone who knows how to overpower you, and I do think they've sucked you dry, literally. I think this is someone that's going to offer you something here. It's an offer of some sort. It could be someone too. A new relationship comes in with, it could be a new friendship too. But I do think it's a message from someone. You may actually get a visit from someone, right? Excuse me. Okay, now coming up for you for the next year, like what's coming up, you get clarity on this. You get clarity on where you're going, right? You get your life straight. You see where things may have needed improvement, and you're doing that. And you've got the strength and the courage to do that. You get your life back on track here. You do. You get your vitality back. Okay? Because what was sucking you dry here with this is inconsistency, right? It could be letting people come run through, you know, when they want to run through. But I think it's either cost you in many ways. I can see that through here. It's like cost you in most every way. So that's what this is about. It's either you being inconsistent with someone. I think someone is inconsistent with you, or there's a control issue here somewhere. And I say that because it's either you're manipulating things or people are manipulating you. But you in here, what you have to do to bring this to fruition, to bring these changes to be, is you've got the Hierophant card and you've got the Nine of Wands card, and you've got the Nine of Wands in another spot here too. Then you've just got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, and know where you're going. You could go back to school, you could learn something, you could be excited about something and get a whole new skill set, take on a whole new job, move somewhere. You can do anything here. It's just you've got to get things in a more organized manner. And that's what I think these eclipses are going to help you do. Because the Hierophant is about doing things more in an organized way. It's also about knowing where you're going, right? Like maybe I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe I want to do something else. But you do it either way because you've got the Victory card with it, right? Okay. Now, your domestic environment, your home environment, what people are saying about, the things that are going on in your day-to-day. You've got the Four of Cups. When the music changes, so does the dance. And I do think that you're just taking a downtime. That's what I think this 4 is. I think it's I'm taking a break. I'm shutting myself out and I'm just taking a break. But you've got the Ace of Swords in here too, which I think we've got the Ace of Swords here in what's coming up for you within the year. So you're cleaning house in your relationship, in your home environment, your domestic environment. It's just taking a bit of time is all. That's all. Just little delays around this. So you may be looking to move, you may be looking to do something, but there's just delays around it. If you're waiting on a person, I think you need to really realize that, when the music changes, so does the dance. Do these people in my surroundings fit in with my life? Do I fit in here anymore? Or do I need to go somewhere else? Do we need to get really clear about that? Okay, now your hopes, your fears, your anxieties. You've got the 8 of Coins and the 9 of Wands. And you've got a dark-haired woman in here, the 4 of Swords also. The 8 of Coins can be a marriage card. It's also one of the great financial cards. It's actually the Millionaire's card in regular playing cards. And the 9 of Wands is stamina, stability, sticking with something, right? But it's also a card that says, you know what? I know when life isn't always easy, but I know the choices to make, practical choices, that don't make life harder, right? And this person may be a thorn in your side. It may be a person here, that is the culprit here. But the 4 of Swords is needing a break. This person could be exhausting you, or it could be you, maybe not knowing where to put your focus. This is staying in places too long. Know when to hold them and when to fold them. And this is really, really focusing on the things that you want in your life, moving your life forward, but realizing that it takes time. Things take time. Relationships take time, right? And balance. The 4 of Swords can be in here. It can be, something that's taking some time because it's just not, it's too much of a power struggle. In the outbound position here, now this is just, it's a general overview of the energies of this. If you don't like anything in here, you can absolutely change it. Absolutely, just by changing the things that you're doing. And you've got the King of Wands, right? And you've got the 10 of Cups. And this is a card of waiting. I will tell you this right now. If this is the person you're waiting on, and it's not someone that you are married to, it's someone who's already married. So if that's what this is about, all the in and outs and this person not being consistent, and this person is already married. So just be aware of that. It could be, if you're married to this person and you're separated, that could be what this is too. But things need to change in here. I want to pull on that. I want to pull a clarifier. I need another card on that. I'm not going to leave your... You've got things going on here. I would suggest you check Virgo. I'm about to do their reading now. You want to check what's coming back at you. You want to check the house that's coming back at you. Your main takeaway is you've got to reestablish some healthy trust in the divine here. But it's about making practical choices too for yourself and not sabotaging yourself for other people. Now the cards that you came in with, all of these cards, give me a minute. I wanna see something here. Okay, you've got the Queen of Wands in here, and you've got the King of Wands. So this is most likely a relationship that you're in. And you've got the Lover's card in here too. So this is an established relationship. You've got the Empress, the Fool in here too. I don't feel that this is balanced. I don't think that you're not any particular area. I think your life in and of itself is not balanced. I think there's a power struggle in here somewhere. And I know that you're a water sign, but we're a lot of different things. That's why I don't get into the signs. If this is the King and the Queen of Wands, you're kicking the crap out of each other. And I don't mean that physically. I mean that mentally. You two can absolutely do a job on each other. The King of the King of Wands on a not balanced day, she'll go for your juggler, seriously. And the King of Wands will go do other things. So very hot-tempered also. So if this isn't a relationship already, it's one of you waiting for the other. But you've got some massive repair to do in the structures of things and how are you growing together, or are you suffocating each other? You know, give me a minute. There are two queens in here. There's a reconciliation in here somewhere, or there's going to be an option for that. I would suggest you really sit here and look at where you need some stability and some structure and some balance in your life. And I would just suggest, I'll leave it on this note, that you take this time that you're needed, because I feel that you're really, really defeated and we don't make good choices. Your main takeaway from this is to maybe go forward ask yourself, how practical is this? This person may be lovely. I may really care about this person or this situation or whatever. But I think you're about to give someone a second chance here. Let's see something. Give me a minute. I think you need you're taking some serious time to yourself, and I think you need it, because I think that you're letting people run through your life like a revolving door, and I think it's not getting you anywhere. If these are people borrowing money from you, borrowing time from you, borrowing energy from you, but not, I could see why this would be Okay. Now I was clarifying this. These are inner struggles, but you're trying to make changes. Again, you've got a lot of wands and a lot of swords in here. That means your body is just, it's your mind, body, soul, spirit is taking a hit here, health-wise, because your life is out of balance. My suggestion would be to figure out where this is going on and start changing the things that you can change. I would say you do need a recharge for sure. For some of you too, you may have just had a baby and it's thrown the whole whack of your everything is thrown off now. You're depleted though, energy-wise, that I can really feel, and I feel like I cannot even talk anymore. So you are defeated. I would, you know, start taking some self-care. And here's the Three of Swords. Okay. These are old wounds, old patterns, heartbreaks. You do need this time to yourself. I would strongly suggest that you take it. If you want a private reading, I'd be more than happy to do that for you. But I think you're letting a lot of people trample through your house here. I'm trying to find you something here. Again, with this card, you've got the Ten of Wands, which is you're tired. You're tired. You just need to take a rest here. And this is what I feel. This energy is too much. You've got the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands in here. It's too much. If these are people, they're people that are in and out and they're sucking you dry. If you're running around like this, you're doing it to yourself. But I would take a break and restructure your life, reorganize your life, take some downtime. I think you've got, you know, you've got the Nine of Wands here, which is you and what you could do to pull this together. And I would strongly suggest you take this. And it's just trying to figure out what your truths are. What are the, be honest with yourself and what are the true things to you? Because in your hopes and your fears, you've got another Nine of Wands, right? And this is the Ten of Wands. So you're pushing through something, you know, and you're working really hard on it, but is it practical and why are you doing it? I would walk away with those questions, and then let things present themselves to you, in a healthier manner coming up once you can get your faculties. Because a lot of times what can happen is we become obsessed about things and then we get confused and then we jump into something and then we realize, oh my gosh, I've been here before, so now we pull back and it's a repetitive pattern. We're trying to break the pattern here because this again is waiting on the outbound. And this is energies too of being very, as energies, being very theatrical. This is someone too, the King of Wands. It's very creative energy, but I think that, you're waiting for someone. This is your reading. So these are your energies, and I think you're waiting for someone. It could be a relationship that's just on the rocks here. It could be that too. So there you go, Pisces. I hope that I helped you in some way. I would, again, watch Virgo, see what's going on there. Check your, see where these eclipses are hitting. That'll show you the particular area that'll that'll, you know, have the major impact. Yeah, I think you just need to recharge your batteries is all. And I think that that's what this time will afford you. But I think if you clear this out, I think better things will come in. Give me a minute. I'm not happy with this. Just give me 1 minute. I want to see something here because I don't see a silver lining here. And I think it could be because what I'm reading on is the energy and you're exhausted. And that's the energy I can't get past. Okay. 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 You need to really look at some stuff here. I think that you may have backed yourself into a corner trying to help everyone, and I think it may have blown up in your face. That can usually happen, right? That's what I really think is happening here. You just need some grounding. You need to get your health back on track, meaning being balanced, right? Your finances are coming. That's a great financial card, but it's just, you know what? I've got to get my stuff together here. I thought I was doing a good thing and it backfired, right? The Page of Swords is it's new insight, new direction, new ideas. So it's about taking the higher road and seeing the bigger perspective in things. Again, I think if you don't see someone, you're going to get a letter or an email, or I think that 8 of Swords where this is, I think you're going back and forth with someone. You may find something out, like I said, if you're not in a relationship or you're dating someone like at a distance, you may hear something about that you're not real thrilled about. So again, this would be something that it would have been going on for a bit, okay? But again, these are just energies that are these things are bringing up. They're not specific situations, but yours is blatantly clean and clear that it's about control issues in any kind of relationship. Any kind of relationship with you with another person. They're not balanced here. They're compensating and they're very out of whack. So I think you're just exhausted. So I would take a break. Okay. If you need a private reading, I'd be more than happy to do that for you. Okay. Thank you so much.